phone and you got YouTube over on my camera or on my computer because I can't figure out how to do both at the same time. It's just now working on our computer. We're miniature painters. This is the model we're going to paint up today. It is a werewolf, and he looks amazing. I have to decide on what color I want to make that fur, because we haven't really decided that yet. Same with the eyes and everything else. I need my big one with how he's posed. I want to thank you guys for allowing me to come over here and, go live and shoot the shit with you guys, whatever you want to call it. Just keeping everything copacetic as much as we can. Trying to make sure that we as a miniature paint company are going to be still in business with the current ban of Twitch. But this is what we're going to work on. We also have the base itself, which should, in theory, fit, and it does, on this. So, this is the rocks that we're going to be painting today as well. But before we do any of that, we're going to actually prime a mini. Now, I don't usually recommend using a spray can indoors. However, with it being below freezing right now, that's the only option we got. And what we're going to be spraying up is this Treant. Now, we let that dry when we were covering up the cracks in it. Now, the ones we did at the feet, we didn't cover up because that's it actually going in the ground. We're going to make sure that all gets cleaned up anyway to look like mud. So, all I do is I put our box in. Let me grab my spray. Pop the lid off. And with it being a small area, I just do a few small thin coats aimed directly at the model about 6 to 8 inches away. And then I'm going to let that dry. I'm going to move it around to get the front, the sides, pretty much anything that did not get hit on the initial pass that we can hit. I am excited to be here. Part of me does wish that they didn't do what they're doing with Twitch or TikTok right now, because I did have a good following there, but I'm hoping that we can grow here as well. Need to put on the list that we are going to go live on, or that we need more of our wet palette paper. So I'll put that down. I got a whole list of everything I need for the business. Biggest thing is resin right now. We do dice making as well as miniature painting. So you'll see from time to time me doing dice making, miniature painting, messing around with some UV resin. pretty much anything I can get a hold of that is part of or can be considered part of miniature painting, I do. The reason we're doing this now is so that we can get that out of the way. We don't want to keep breathing that in later or we don't want to do it later when we're running out of time to paint. Typically we go live for about an hour and a half. I think today we're going to go live for a little bit longer. For those that joined us over on YouTube, thank you for joining us. And like I said, all I'm doing is I'm just doing a few quick coats. Once I can get a small air compressor that I can put on my desk and a airbrush, it's going to be a little bit easier to do priming during these cold months. Because essentially all that's causing us to do this way is the cold months. Got a little bit on my fingers. Oh well. It's paint. It's going to come off. The amount of times I've sat there and taken a shower with a whole handful of paint just from doing some different techniques. I mean, I've had it in my hair before. Before we continue, though, I'm going to do one last quick spray. Right on top there. Now, the key when you're trying to spray this stuff is that you're not trying to muddy up any of the details. So this is what we got going on. Okay, one more little thing to hit. We should be done with our rattle can. Let's show off what we've been working on, though. So, first and foremost, we have our diorama set. For those that have been following us on TikTok, this is one of our largest works that we've done in the past few months. And then we have the Wendigo that we finished up last night. Now we're going to just sit there and we're going to move this one over to dry, along with its little rock. I still got to figure out how that's supposed to hold it. But that's supposed to be in its hand. let's move on to what we're here for, the miniature painting itself. Feel free to put a chat up however you want to do it. I'm not seeing chats go through. I'm not sure how it works on the mobile like we're on right now. But if you do have any questions, let us know. I'm glad to answer any questions you do have. So I'm just looking this over real quick to see how I want to do this. What I'm thinking is red armor, like dark red, non-metallic armor. That skull right there, thinking gold. The fur, maybe a brown. Or a muted gray. We just did gray on the Wendigo, so I'm not really a fan of that. What we could do, first and foremost, where's my, there it is. So this is what I use for where's my other one? I have another one of those. I'll show you what I'm talking about here in a second, but it's lava based. And what I'm thinking we could do is turn to dust. Thank you for joining us. No problem. I do appreciate you joining. Feel free to share it around to your friends. Right now we're looking for our. Oh, that is it. Duh. We're looking for this. Because what I'm thinking we could do is something we haven't done in a while. And that is a lava base. So hear me out. We put this asphalt on top. That's going to dry it to be black. It's going to look similar to how we got this. Go. But we do an underglow with how he's standing as if the pool of lava is running underneath him. Or to the side of him, like in the front. Could even do it going from there up to there. Oh, really? I'm not big on your end. Okay. See, on my end, it's the whole monitor. But I'm also on my computer or my phone. So I know we're going to start off with putting this right here. So what I'm doing is there's this black powder that I'm just putting on there. This stuff right here. I'm just lightly putting it on the base real quick. And what that's going to do is it's going to harden after so long. But let me pull that off. He's going to sit. I don't want that touching it. He's going to sit like this. So what I'm thinking we do is a little bit of an underglow going up with a little bit of a lava effect flowing underneath. Take your time, Turn to Dust. Completely understandable. For those that are joining us, thank you for joining us. This is our first live on Twitch. We are also live over on YouTube. Typically, we go live on TikTok. However, with the current situation, is the best I can say it, we cannot go live on TikTok anymore. Nobody knows why. We just lost full access. But a little bit about me. I'm a father of one. I do miniature painting and dice making as a somewhat of a second job. We do run it as a business, but I don't see it as a job. I see it as me just doing what I love to do. So what we're doing is all around these two rocks right here, we put that little asphalt stuff down that I just showed you off. And then we're going to run just a little stream of UV resin across that and around. And we'll do a little bit of an underglow from that. Now that UV resin is going to have to wait till tomorrow after that dries. Same with painting the rocks. Now our rocks, we have a really simple recipe that we always do. But like I said, that's going to just wait till tomorrow. So we're going to put that to the side now. Now we're going to work on the werewolf itself. I don't want that on top of there. There. Okay, so put you aside. If you like what you see, feel free to subscribe, give a gift, or whatever it is over here, a donation. Like I said, this is my first live here on Twitch. We usually go on TikTok. TikTok isn't allowing for U.S. citizens to go live right now, or view lives at that matter. A little concerning right there, honestly. Let's start with this armor. Just do a good base coat down. I need this color. We're going to be doing this similar to how we did our red female fighter. And you know what? We might make him white. Let's do that. Let's do a white werewolf. And this will be like a callback to one of our very first miniatures we painted on Alive, which was this. like I said, I mean we're going to be doing lives all over the place now. We're trying to get it set up to where we can go live on Twitch, TikTok, and YouTube all at once on one platform. There's a way we can set it up. However, we don't have the capability with our laptop. So we can't do it. Ooh, I screwed up. Oh well. I didn't take a picture. I went in this thinking, oh, we'll just do some non-metallic metal. I went in this without taking a picture to do non-metallic metal. Because when you do non-metallic metal, you always want to take a reference photo. So you know where everything is compared to a light source. And I did not. We'll wing it. We've gotten pretty good at pinpointing some light sources. I think the hardest part's going to try to bounce off that object source lighting with the non-metallic metal, but we have ways to do that. We'll just paint it non-metallic metal and do an object source lighting over it. So I'm glad that we got 3 followers so far. Honestly, hoping that by the end of this live, we can boost that up to 10 or more. If you like what you see, make sure to send this off to your friends, let them know what we're doing. Thank you for the follow, Turn to Dust. I appreciate it. No problem. I've done that with other content creators where I've thought I've followed them for months, and then especially like during this like last week of the TikTok and everyone thinking that it's going to get banned, and then it does get banned, but then comes back on. There were content creators that I've been watching for months that I thought, oh, I've already had them followed, but no, that's going to look really good. The good thing about red is it kind of already tells you where the light source is going to be. And what we're also going to do is the edges of the armor, like around it. The chest piece is the easiest to see, probably. Where there's like you can see where it's supposed to be red on the inside, and then you got stuff around it. That's all going to be gold. I think we're going to do. I think gold would be a nice touch there. But yeah, if you have people that you are friends with that are miniature painters, like watching painting tutorials, into dice making, definitely give me or give them a shout out, send them over here, and let's just grow this community here. The more we grow across all of our platforms, the better. And the overall goal is that everything that we have, our YouTube, our Instagram, our Facebook, everything that's in our link tree that should be in our bio already, is followed by you guys. We want to make sure that we're giving grade A content to you all that you like to see, not just spamming you with likes and videos and trying to get you to do it just because of the fact that, oh well, you're a miniature painter too, I can just like too. No, we want to grow an actual community. Now we are part of the hobby club that is ran primarily in the UK. There's some admins in the US, but primarily it's UK based. And we did make a suggestion today that they make their own YouTube channel that can link everybody that has a YouTube channel to it. So that if, for instance, I decide one night I want to go live with them and I'm linked to that, and somebody sees us linked up in the video going forward, they'd be like, oh, hey, that's actually pretty cool. I like what he's doing. Let's just sit here and go live with them as well. This guy's pretty funny. Let's see what his content's like. Oh, he does a lot of werewolves, or he does a lot of D&D-esque figures. I mean, that's exactly what we're striving for. We're trying to make sure that what we provide you is what you want. Let me get a drink real quick, everyone. Because I'll be honest, with the stunt that TikTok just pulled and then potentially being owned by Meta now, based on several different circumstances that have happened, there's a good chance we're not even going to be using TikTok anymore. Not because we don't believe in it, but because it feels more like a screw you to me than a, hey, make sure you stay on our platform and follow everybody that you like and keep up to date with everything that you're liking within your community so that you don't miss anything. That's why I got TikTok. I mean, it feels weird with how everything's going down. I said it in one of the groups I'm in. It just feels like there's a storm brewing and nobody knows like what's going to happen. Not just with TikTok, but everything in general. It just feels calm, but also loud. If that explains it. I like with how this is coming along. For some reason, I have not gotten a chat in a few days on my YouTube. That's a little more disconcerting to me. Yay, more skulls. But those are actual skulls and not. Oh, well, that's unique. Well, I'll have to double check the model, make sure that's how it's supposed to look. There's one skull I'm looking at here at the bottom. Yeah, exactly, like a calm before the storm type of thing. There's one skull I'm looking here at the bottom. You probably can't see because it's blacked out. But it's like the top of the head is just cut off, like right above the eyes. So I don't know if that's a print mistake or if the creator meant for it to be that way. I'll have to look. I still have their website, so I mean I can easily look it up. But yeah, exactly. It's like a calm before the storm, and I'm just wondering what's going to happen. I'm already seeing people say on TikTok that if so I said it because we just did all these skulls on the Wendigo. Like there's a skull hidden in there. There's like 3 or 4 skulls on the base itself. There's 2 on his belt. Like I'm edgy, I get it. But at the same time, man, there's a time and place. But no, I mean, like I was saying, I've already heard on TikTok a couple of the more popular left siding content creators talking about how they're going to essentially revolt if it is owned by Meta, because there's going to be a wave of conservative posts that they can't even predict. They're just assuming that there's going to be. I mean, I'm one where I don't care what side you are leaning. I more care about who you are as a person. Who you vote for does not always necessarily mean that you share the exact same views as that person. It just means that you share their views more evenly than you do with the other conglomerate. Now, here's the big thing with this ban that really opened my eyes a little bit. You might have. But what really opened my eyes on this stuff is like, what were they trying to hide? It's just like, what were they trying to hide? I mean, we have so much going on right now, to the point where the United States is already on the brink of another Great Depression. We're right there on the edge. We don't want to be, but we are on the edge there. I'm more concerned with, are we even going to have our rights by the end of the year? Not because of who's being elected, but solely because of the fact that if the Senate can outright tell us that, oh, this company is a quote unquote security threat, and you just have to trust us that they are. What's stopping them from saying another company is a security threat just because they're from a specific country? I mean, take a look at this year's biggest game. Like right out the gate, it had already garnered over 200 million players, and that was Marvel Rivals. With Marvel Rivals, it is Chinese owned and operated. Let me rephrase that. The company that owns Marvel Rivals is Chinese owned. The studio itself is not. But that leads back to the whole ByteDance issue. Marvel Snap is a ByteDance game. That was taken down with the ban. This is what we got for the armor. I think we're going to let that dry for a little bit. And we might move on to the end. That's looking good. What I like about red, so when you do that base coat, it kind of already shows you where all your deepest, darkest highlights are going to be. But yeah, we are just going to be starting to push all our other socials if it is owned by Zuckerberg now. That is just what we're going to have to do. I mean, I'm hoping it's not too, but the evidence doesn't look good. There is a lot of evidence that it is owned by him now. So, which hand is this supposed to go in? Hang on. So it's supposed to be this hand. Do you not fit in there? So that's how that's going to look. Really, I think it's supposed to go the other way around, but yeah, it was supposed to go the other way around. We're going to start painting this up now. Reason we're moving on to the end is solely to give the red time to dry. Because I don't want to paint near the red or on the red and have any bleed over. That is exactly what we're going for. In fact, we were actually going to use some of our... Let me see if I got it. We were going to use some of our field grass and steppe grass and moss to make it look really to make it look more like Treebeard than anything. Brody, thank you for joining us over on YouTube. I apologize for not getting to that comment faster. It's a lot easier to see comments when they're on one screen than the other. We always ran into that problem with the TikTok and YouTube setups. Right now we're over on Twitch as well as on our YouTube. And then the entire bottom, we're going to do some mud effect and some earth effect. We're not going to put this one on any like diorama or anything like that. We need to get it primed. We needed to get it on, get it going. With everything that's been going on this week, I needed more so to get paint on plastic. And I think Brody was there whenever I got shut down mid live last night. That was real fun. Mid conversation, I get hit with, "Oh, you can't talk no more." Like, I've never been real political. Hey, you're good. I've never been real political on my apps and on with especially with trying to run a business. It's best not to get political. But with everything that's going down, it's starting to look like I may have to start getting a little bit political. And I don't want to do that. I know some of my views are not other people's views. And I don't want people to think that, oh, I just because I believe one thing automatically means that I side with somebody that I don't truly believe in. It's part of the reason why I'm kind of moving away from entire political talks. Like if I see it starting to happen, I will leave. Um, a perfect example is all the lives that were being ran during the election that were so in your face about it that you couldn't leave. I want to thank you for watching Turn to Dust. I want to thank you, Brody, for watching. You two have been some of my biggest supporters. And I hope that you guys will always be supporters because we're not going anywhere. We're gonna if it doesn't work out here, and whoever did join as well over on Twitch, thank you. If it doesn't work out on TikTok, because like I said, right now we can't even host lives. So I'm not sure. I know the United States can't. I tried. Several others have tried, and none of the lives have actually been promoted to us, Brody, over on YouTube. I was sitting there watching a video when I got back into TikTok, and they said, we've been back for 3 hours. Nobody's noticed it, but where's the lives? Where are the lives? What are they trying to hide from us? Yeah, the downside on YouTube is it's a little bit worse quality because of the fact that I'm on my laptop. So the like how it's angled is weird. I can try to see if I can get. I mean, even that's not even there because I got my light right above me, so it makes it a little bit worse. But yeah, you're right, Brody. It is weird. Like I tried. Several others tried going live. It was just. See, when we first went live, I was seeing them. or not live, but when we first went, when we first got back, I was seeing the lives. Once I backed out, I haven't seen any. No problem. That's a good question, Brody. Over on YouTube, why don't they tell us why? That's just like the question of why is Shu Chu, the CEO of TikTok, who has for the past 4 or 5 years had CEO of TikTok in the bio of his TikTok account, no longer got CEO of TikTok in his bio. My theory is they sold it already, but they know they're going to lose people if they outright say who they sold it to. Because there's evidence that show that they have sold it over to Meta. Yes, definitely more shadowy over on YouTube, David. I mean, we're trying to work it out to where we can get everything situated. When I go live on my phone, it's not as bad. So, Brody, Mr. Beast has been trying to get it for a while now to buy TikTok. However, they're not interested in selling, as well as the fact that deals like this take months. We have so much evidence that's showing that TikTok was actually purchased by Meta instead. Facebook now has a TikTok account with over 300,000 followers overnight. Instagram, when you log in, is asking you to link your TikTok account. Facebook is asking you to link your TikTok account when you log in. Threads is asking you to link your TikTok account to log in. Instagram is asking you to share your Insta stories with your TikTok. You got Shu, who's showing that he's no longer CEO, as well as the data storage site for the United States was moved overnight to a metadata saving facility. We are more than likely, if you're on TikTok, it is more than likely a Meta app now. Oh, it's not just people hearing it. It is factual. Like, it's been proven with their IP that they moved it. But that's what led me to. That's why I was talking about earlier about people saying, "Well, this is going to be a more conservative app and everything like that." Here's my take on being a more conservative app. Who cares? If you don't like the content, don't follow. Skip past it. The amount of times that I saw Harry and Dean and all them when the debate was going on, I don't believe with a lot of what they say. In fact, I've statistically proven them incorrect on a lot of their fact-checked stuff. But it's not that I don't believe. Let me rephrase it. It's not that I don't like a lot of what they say. it's more so how they say it. They try to trap their viewer or their debater in there, just like with any other debater, though. They're going to try to trap them and twist their words around. Dean is a perfect example. Dean had was on a podcast with some woman. I've never heard of her before, never seen her before. So David, from what I'm understanding, it's still going to be scroll by. It's not going to be long press and click. But like I was saying, well, Brody, that's what we're saying. It's already been sold. They just haven't said it. Deals like this take months to orchestrate. And we're already getting evidence that Meta, Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, whatever you want to call it, owns TikTok now. They just haven't officially announced it to the public. So I'm saying they sold it. They were mid-contract with the band. And a lot of people are starting to lean towards the thought process that because it was already being banned before it was officially sold, they're using the ban like David said, they're using the ban to give them time to move things over while down. All the data that was on the United States hard drives and servers over at it starts with an O. I can't remember the exact name of it. But the former data site that they used, everything that was over there is now in Eagle Rock, which is a confirmed Meta Incorporated owned data housing site. You wouldn't Meta has no reason to house data that they don't own. So why is all the data now over in a Meta owned site? And for those on Twitch, I do apologize. I tried to set it up on my computer to multi-stream on the same device. It was not letting me. For some reason, even when I go to twitch.com, it does not allow me to go live from twitch.com. If anybody knows of a way around that, feel free to reach out to me and let me know. But yeah, essentially, Brody, what people are speculating is that the ban was more so used as leverage to orchestrate other ongoing issues. So the Supreme Court ruled 9-0. That's a unanimous vote on TikTok being banned is constitutional. What that did was it gave corporations the power that if they want something, like let's say Fanbase. Let's say Fanbase is owned by like a German company. all a company would have to do is tell a senator now, hey, I want to own this company, but they're not buying. Well, that's the thing, Brody. They haven't even confirmed that it's actually been sold. It's all speculation right now, but it's hinting more and more that it was sold because these deals take months to go through. All the data being housed in a Meta site, all the facts that every single Meta platform is asking you to link TikTok to a Meta platform makes no sense. Now, it's not like it's Linktree, where Linktree houses all of your links. No, this is a private company and a public company that have never been under the same platform, asking you to link up the information. What everyone's thinking is that they sold it to Meta and that it's being used as leverage to make the president-elect look good for saying brokering a deal when these deals already take months. Like, I see where they're coming from. With that, I could see how that does look a little fishy. No, Brady, what I'm saying is the deal's already possibly been done. But they're using the deal as some scapegoats. So here's why I'm saying they're using it as a scapegoat. Let's say that you own a company and you want to own company B, but company B is not willing to sell to you. You find out company B has a parent company that is as owned by a Chinese company. So, or that is Chinese based. You go to the Supreme Court, you tell them, hey, look, if you start putting money in our stock and pass this bill that we're going to ban company B because of a national security threat, we'll make you rich. Then you go to the Supreme Court, you do the same thing. If you say it's unconstitutional, we'll make you rich. It's essentially what happened. Because the judges, the senators, and the House of Representatives all had several people put hundreds of thousands of dollars in a Meta stock within days of the vote being done. And this is before the vote was done. So they knew they were going to ban it. They knew, because how it was put in is they slipped it into a bill where it was, we're going to give money to all of our allies or ban TikTok. If you say yes, we're going to give money to our allies, we're going to ban TikTok. If you say no, we're not going to give money to our allies, we're going to keep TikTok. That is how that got slipped in there. It was a one vote, two bills, essentially, two bills. They voted once on two bills. But with the Supreme Court going 9-0 on it being in the Constitution that it's not breaking the freedom of speech to ban it, what that did was it allowed other companies to do the same. It allowed them to go, look, I don't like this company. I'm wanting to buy it out, yada, yada, yada. You give me a way to, ban them. I'll make sure that we can buy it out. With everything that's been going on the past few weeks, I mean, you got Chew joining the Trump administration's inauguration as a guest. And they've released the seating chart on this too. He's sitting right next to Mark Zuckerberg, which is strange because he's outright said that he didn't even like him when he was his own. You can actually look that up. That's in the Stock Act. Any government official has to reveal it. To my knowledge, all 9. For those over on TikTok or over on Twitch, the question was how many of the Supreme Courts had Meta stock. To my knowledge, all 9 had it. That all government officials have to reveal their stock portfolio per the Stock Act. It's not that he had something to do with it. So everyone keeps saying it's Trump's fault. It's Trump's fault. It's Trump's fault. Here's how the timeline went. 2020, Trump releases an executive order to ban TikTok. It fails. The Supreme Courts at the time actually said that it was unconstitutional to ban it because it is infringing on their rights of press. In 2021, Biden rescinds the same ban months after Trump suggested it. Just like 4 or 5 months. Once again, the Supreme Court says, no, we're not going to allow you to do that. You need to give us a reason why, because there was no reason as to why they were wanting TikTok banned. They just said, we want it banned. In 2024, Tom Cotton slips it into a bipartisanship bill that needed to be passed. If it did not pass, we would not have been able to give money to our allies in Ukraine, in Israel, in really any country for the next 10 years. That's not an exaggeration. That is literally in the bill. If we did not sign that, we would not be able to give any money. We would not be able to give any military guidance. We would not even be able to we wouldn't even be able to put boots on the ground if World War III went down at all. If that bipartisanship did not pass. That was in it. We cannot do any military action. We cannot do any military funding. We cannot do any financial aid to any country we are allied with that is a part of NATO or a part of the UN. In the middle of that bill was a 2-sentence bill that stated, we need to ban TikTok because it is a national security threat, comma, we do not have evidence that it is a national security threat. This is just what we were told. Because they were owned by the Communist Party of China, which they're not. Period. If this bill passes, if this bipartisanship bill passes, it will be banned on the 19th. Now, this is the same person that went on record trying to tell the CEO or potentially former CEO, because like I said, we don't know if he still is the CEO of TikTok, that he was not Singaporean when he is. He's Singaporean. And David's exactly right. It's the governor that blocked the extension. That's exactly what I'm talking about, Tom Cotton. I'm not sure what you mean by didn't have his stuff posted. So he wasn't on TikTok. He's on all their social media sites. But yeah, you can find it. You can find out that that same person that banned the extension that put this bill in there, his stock portfolio is out there. It is legally. He is legally obligated to have it out there with being a government official. He made $5 million off a 1.5 investment in Meta stocks within the past year. And he put that 1.5 million in Meta a day before the ban was voted on. The same bill that he suggested. But no, you're right. It shouldn't be those two kind of bills should not be even remotely in the same conversation. Now, I am emotional about this, not because of the fact that we are potentially losing TikTok or it's being bought out, but because of the fact that it's my largest following and a lot of people are talking about leaving it fully if that is the case. What brand of paint do I use? That is a great question. So primarily I use the Army Painter. However, I also use Vallejo model paints. That's how I get this brown. You guys might not be able to see it over there that well, but it's a chocolate brown. And it's going to look pretty much like you're going to see a bunch of different areas where it's just like, oh, well, that's splotchy as heck. And I'm going to show it over on Twitch as well. Now, if I'm not mistaken, all my videos on Twitch should also post to Twitch after I'm done, so you guys can go back and watch those there. But it's looking splotchy solely because we're going to do some different techniques. Where is it? Wood grain, right there. So, flat earth. Yeah, that is our chocolate brown Vallejo model color, is what that brown is. Now, when I put this on, we're definitely going to have to either call it a night or move on to some UV resin work. Until this dries, because what this is pretty much just a wash that I'm putting on right now that darkens up browns and gives more of a wood grain look to it. It's really good for recessed areas that are essentially wood. But by no means do you have to do it like this. Everybody has their own techniques. I'm going to get a bigger brush real quick. But yeah, I mean, that's the whole reason why I'm a little bit upset about this whole thing going down. Because, I got you guys on YouTube. I got you guys on Twitch that I can do lives with. I got other platforms I can do it on, but like I've been explaining to everybody this past few days, they're like, "Oh, well, just go to a different platform. Just go to a different platform." As you can see, I'm on different platforms. I've been on different platforms. In fact, we started on YouTube, and you can see that we only have 160, 170 followers over on YouTube. But here's the funnier thing about that. I had the YouTube for about 3-4 months before I started my TikTok journey. Yet my TikTok journey boomed. I don't know. All I know is this is starting to. I'm starting to get real. So that's a great question. Turn to Dust over on YouTube. It's more of a preference thing. So let me show it here in a second. So like this model came pre-built. Same with the werewolf. I'm going to show you a Barbagon here in a second. Because not all models come pre-built. Not all models come pre-assembled either, though. Or come assembled, though. Games Workshop, I think all of their models you have to build. Atomic Mass Games, I know you got to build theirs. But there's some out there. I'm not sure who makes it, but Marvel United, you don't have to build. It comes pre-made. Let me get this arm real quick, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So the question you are having is, would it be easier to paint a model before you assemble it or after? That is really a you preference. And here's why I say that. Take these Barbagons. Everything on this Barbagon had to be put together. There was the legs I had to put in, the arms. Really, the only thing that was put on already was the head and the body. The arm right there with the rocket launcher, I had to do myself as well as that. But there's areas, I'm going to show it on Twitch. There's areas that I didn't even touch with paint. Solely because of the fact that I can't reach it. Because I assembled them. Now, here's where I say it's a you preference. You can leave that. That's fully painted. A lot of painters will follow the 3-foot rule. If I can't see it from 3 feet away, it doesn't exist. Exactly. And you can try to put paint everywhere. If you're trying to put paint everywhere, put base coats, do your high detailing. But if you're going to use washes at all or shades, what you want to remember is that while you're doing that, you want to wait until that is fully assembled first. So you can do like your high detail uh painting of the miniature all the way up until you can't detail anymore. Get all your highlights in. It looks like you're just missing some shade. And then you can toss that shade in. What that shade's going to do is it's going to darken up the darkest recesses. It's going to darken up all those recesses. It's going to get in there. That's what shade does. Not a lot of people understand that. A lot of people think that it just darkens the whole model. You really want to just focus on the recesses when you're using washes and shades. And essentially what you're doing, and that's essentially what I'm doing right now, is I'm doing a wash. This is pretty much just a shade of what could essentially be considered lacquer on here, because as you can see, it's gotten a lot darker compared to where it was before, and that's the look I'm going for with this wood grain. But I'm going to keep adding that wood grain across the miniature, making sure everything was hit, and then I'm going to go up a highlight. Yeah, a lot of people do when they start out. The real question is, was it truly a mistake? There's been times where, for example, we have the werewolf we're working on right now. I was supposed to be making that into non-metal metallics, but we didn't take the picture. So now we got to eyeball it, figure out what's going to be the best way to do the non-metal metallic armor on it. But now we do have to take a break for today. We'll be back tomorrow night, more than likely on Twitch or YouTube. Possibly not both. If anything, we'll probably just do it off Twitch tomorrow. I seem to find that platform a little bit more easier to work on. But we need to let this dry. We need to let our werewolf dry and acclimate. And we need to make sure that we get everything going as best we can. I do hope I answered everyone's questions. If it's in regards to the Facebook ban, or not Facebook ban, the TikTok ban, all I can really say is keep your ears to the news, because we don't know what's going on. All we know is that there's evidence that's showing that Meta owns it. But there's been no hard, concrete evidence that it does. So I want to thank everybody that did join our live tonight. This was our first stream on Twitch. We were able to get one figure pretty good ways done. We got another figure partially done. We got a long way to go with him, though. This is the other one we were working on. And this is the base we're working on with him. We will more than likely tomorrow night start off with the UV resin to do the basing aspect of this, because there's going to be a little bit of a lava pool to do some object source lighting. And then we'll do the rock. We'll glue him on, more than likely, tomorrow night. Just get him on there. The thing I don't like about this is where he's supposed to sit. The paws don't line up. And he falls and broke. Great. So I'm going to have to find the other part of the blade that broke off just now. Get it put back together, and then we'll be able to work on that tomorrow. But with that being said and done, I want to thank everybody that did join us, and have a good night. Bye-bye.